So this is another simple project I've been working on, which is a spinnerbait arm for the lead-free jigs that I've been making. So this is slightly different than a standard spinnerbait rig. You'll see that here it's hinged and the hitch point's moved up more towards the spinning blade than on a standard rig, and that's because this offers less resistance than the skirts on a normal spinnerbait. It's also detachable, I can take that off. And there we're left with the form, which is just basically some bent wire. Here we've got a swivel, a split ring and a spinner blade, and I'll go through the steps in making them. So to bend the wire and make the arm, basically I'm going to make a jig to do that. And what I've got here is a scrap piece of plywood. On this wire forming jig there's a PDF, you'll see the link below the YouTube video to my blog. There's a PDF you can download and it's got this already drawn up. So I've just attached that with a bit of scotch tape, and then I'm going to mark out the holes where I'm going to drill just with a hammer, a pin. And once I've marked all them, I'm going to take a cordless drill and drill them all out. So once you've drilled out all your holes, you can get rid of your paper template, and we're going to start bending the wire. And the wire is, I'm using a 200mm by 1mm, that's 8" by 40/1000 of an inch stainless steel spinner wire. You can use 150mm or 6" long. It just needs a slight bit of tweaking on this jig at the last hole, but I'll show you this one. So I'm going to take my first two nails and put them in at this end, my wire, so it's just tracked through, and then I can start bending. And I'm just pushing this round with a piece of wood. And there's the first bend. There's a couple of bits of nails. One doesn't want to fit. There we go. Just go around this curve. At this point I'm just going to loop the wire over and carry on. You can almost bend it completely by hand. Let's take this pin out here. And just pull that tight. And carry on round. There we go. Put another two pins. Pull this out. And just bend that around there. So that's the first part of the bending done. The wire's almost complete. I'm just going to trim this last eye here. This is where the blade's going to be. So it's just a case of making the latch now at this end to attach to the jig head. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to put a nail back here and I'm going to change the plane so I'm bending at right angles. You just turn that round, it might be easier actually. And all I'm doing is just forming a U here. Just take these out. this actually. And the latch is just simply that. You can see there. So if you've downloaded and printed out the PDF, you'll see on the bottom there's the Colorado spinner blades, the patterns. I'm going to be using a size 2 to go with my jig head, which is 3.5 grams or 1/8 of an ounce roughly. And what I've done is I've taken this and I've cut it out and I've stuck it to a piece of brass sheet using just ordinary household glue, stick glue. This brass sheet is 0.3 of a millimetre or 11/1000 of an inch thick. So the first job to do is going to be to punch out this hole here. So rather than drill out this hole, what I'm going to do is punch it out, and I'm using just a standard steel nail. I've snipped the end off it and taken a cheap and nasty diamond stone and just flattened it to make a punch. This is about 2 millimeters, which I think is a little over a 1/16 of an inch, and I'm just going to lay it on the point where it should be. I've got a piece of plywood underneath here, and I'm just going to smack it through. Just needs another touch. There we go. So what it's actually done is punched a piece of metal out, and now I can just lay that down and just tap it back. So now I've got my hole, I'm going to cut it out, and I suppose the first job is just to cut roughly around it so I'm not moving a big sheet. Obviously this is sharp edge, so just be careful with the metal. Every time I cut one of these blades out, I remember that the Worth company in Texas has a machine that produces, I think it's up to 450 blades per minute. I'm obviously not that fast. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this diamond stone and just, if there's any burrs or sharp bits, carborundum stone, whatever you've got will do the job, to be honest. And just that point, just snip that a bit flat. So that's looking okay. I'm going to take a dessert spoon. I'm just going to lay this down in here. And the back of my hammer, this is a ball and peen hammer, is going to put the curve into the blade. Right, just really a few taps. So that's done. I'm just going to peel the plastic off. Plastic protection. There we go, shiny blade. So once you've got your blade and your wire form, you're going to need a swivel and a split ring. The alternative to this is a snap swivel. It doesn't matter exactly what size. I mean, just go with what you've got in your tackle box. Obviously, don't go too big. So I'm going to thread the blade on the split ring. It should just be a case of, yeah, there we go. So to attach it to the wire form, you just take the open eye from one end and a pair of pliers and just close up that eye. That's it. So once it's done, it's just a case of attaching it to your jig head. You could do this on the riverbank or before. Slide it up the catch, round and down. There we go. Job done. I'm off to go and test it.